Welcome back! Last time, we explored characters and strings, and today we're going to discover something even more exciting. But first, let's do a quick review. Last time, we learned that a string is a sequence of one or more characters that make up text. And we learned that when we count characters in a string, we count letters, symbols, and spaces too. That was an important discovery. And before we continue, let's check the practice from last lesson. Our first example is cat. Can you count how many characters are in this string? Take a few seconds to think about it. Yes, cat is a string of 3 characters, C, A, and T. Great job! Now, our second example is hello. Can you count how many characters are in this string? Take a moment to think about it. Did you get 6? That's right. Hello is a string of 6 characters because we count the letters and the exclamation mark too. Great job. All right, our third example is I love ice cream. Can you count how many characters are in this string? Think carefully. All right, this string has 17 characters because we counted the letters, the spaces, and the dot too, because the dot is also a symbol. Excellent work. Now, do you remember our big question from last lesson? How did ChatGPT read the question we typed? Well, before a computer can work with text, it first has to recognize that this is text. And that brings us to today's lesson. In everyday life, text is the words and messages we read and write. But in Python, that text is called a string. So last lesson, we learned what a string is. Today, we'll learn how Python recognizes a string. Python has a special rule. If we want Python to understand that something is text, we put it inside quotation marks. For example, look at this word, cake. To us, it looks like a normal text. But if we want Python to understand it as text, we write it like this, inside quotation marks. The quotation marks tell Python, hey, this is text. Let's test it. Let's look at our first example. Friend. Python looks at it and says, what is this? But now, look at this. Now Python says, oh, this is text. And the text says, friend. Great! Now let's try another one. Remember from last lesson, a string can have one character, like this, H. Python understands that this is text, and the text says H. That means this is a string of one character. Awesome! Now, let's discover something new. Look at this, 7. What is this? Yes, it's a number. Python sees it as a number too. But watch this. Now Python says, wait. Oh, this is text, and this text contains the number 7. That means something very important. Numbers are also characters, and they can be inside strings too. That means strings are not only made of letters, symbols, and spaces, numbers can be part of text too. That's a new discovery for today. Nice job. Let's try another fun example. Can I order 3 pizzas? Python says, this is text, and this text contains letters, spaces, a symbol, and the number 3. Easy. Our last example is, my name is Loki. Python reads all of it as one string. The letters, the spaces, and the symbol, everything inside the quotation marks belongs to the string. So here's today's big ideas. In everyday life, we call it text. In Python, text is written as a string, and Python knows it is text because of quotation marks. And today we discovered something new. Numbers can be part of strings too. That's how Python begins reading our words. And that is another important part of the first step behind tools like ChatGPT. But now that Python can recognize text, can it show text too? In the next lesson, we'll find out.